The set crew for the fall play Almost Maine has been well underway for the past couple of weeks. Hi, I'm Camille Mancuso.
I'm Maya Rossio.
And I'm Josh Russell with Sports, and we'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of WGLH TV.
The number of students that are involved in the set crew has grown over the past few years. There are nearly 100 students involved this year.
One of the reasons there are so many students is because of the flexible schedule. Students can commit as much or as little time as is available to them.
Another reason is that we now have a technical theater class that students can take. Many students in this class are leaders in the crew, and part of their grade comes from how the set comes out.
It is also a lot of fun. Mr. Chris Wagner, who has been the set crew advisor for nearly 10 years, creates a really positive atmosphere for students.
Finally, Gahanna Lincoln High School puts on some of the best theater productions in the state.
The students are very proud of when the community comes out to watch their performances.
Our very own Camille Mancuso takes us behind the curtain to show us the process that goes into designing and building an effective set.
Gahanna Lincoln High School is known for its onstage productions, but many people don't know that most of the work that goes into the productions is backstage with Build Crew. Build Crew is entirely student-run, giving students the opportunity to be leaders and learn all about the shop. Students use power tools, saws, and different painting techniques to get the set together before the show. I talked to Melanie Linker, a Build captain, about what goes on during Build Crew.
Everything is done by students. We build all of the sets. We find props and stuff and really just help the show come together because we need both parts.
Some students even help design the sets for the shows. Build Crew is supervised by Tech Director Mr. Chris Wagner. Builds take place after school and on Saturdays from 10 to 6. Students eat pizza, hang out with their friends, and help out building the set for the fall play.
Build is a place where I was able to come and learn skills that I hadn't learned before that have proven to be really helpful in everyday life. Just knowing how to drill and how to cut and stuff, and honestly to be able to assemble the sets is really rewarding.
No previous experience is required, but all students grow so much during their time at Builds.
On the other side, you should join Build Crew because it is such a fun time. Anyone in Build Crew would tell you that they have an amazing time. You learn a lot, and it's awesome to see a show come together.
No matter where your skill set is, everyone will have fun and learn a lot at Build Crew.
Although a lot of the action for a production goes on stage, the members of Build Crew have been working hard to make sure that all of the offstage elements are great as well. Come out and join a Saturday build or come out after school for a build. Reporting for WGLH TV, this has been Camille Mancuso.
Another performing arts group here at Gahanna Lincoln that has been working really hard is the vocal music department. They recently had a fall concert, and Jared White takes us behind the scenes with some clips.
The Gahanna Lincoln High School's choral program had their very first concert for the fall, and it took place this past Sunday. The very first to perform were the freshman girls choir. Next, the freshman boys choir. I was 1 and 20, my heart awake again. Though to advice I listen, I ask that. Women's ensemble now. Next is chorale. And to finish the show off is a cappella performing some of their traditions and new songs for all their parents and family. I got to talk to a few students who are in a cappella and told me about their experience.
I'm in a cappella, which is the top varsity choir of Gahanna Lincoln High School, and as the name implies, we do sing some songs a cappella as well as songs with the piano in it. The two traditional songs that we always sing, we walk in, and those are Come to the Water, and then when we walk out, we sing Shosholoza.
Just like the experience that a cappella brings, like the connection that you get with the community and the people who watch you like really enjoy what we do.
Even if you missed the fall show, you should definitely come check out the 5 choirs this next winter show. This has been Jared White reporting for WGLH TV.
Some construction that has given many Gahanna drivers headaches is the widening and construction of the roundabout on Hamilton Road. Connor Ingram takes a look at why the project was started and the timeline for it to be completed.
One of the biggest problems at Gahanna Lincoln High School is students getting to class on time in the morning. One thing that isn't helping the situation is the construction and renovation of Hamilton Road, one of the busiest roads in Gahanna. The construction of Hamilton Road causes large traffic buildups, which forces many students to leave earlier, take longer routes, or just sit in traffic and risk being late to class in the morning. However, students are not the only ones affected, as the traffic builds up a lot during rush hour, slowing people down on their way home from work in the evening. Not to mention the people who live on Hamilton Road. Their yards are now torn up, they can barely leave their driveway, and they're forced to listen to honking horns and the sounds of construction day in and day out. I talked to City Engineer Rob Priestess about the current impact and more details about the final plans for the construction.
Currently, the project has minimal impacts. Unfortunately, as all construction projects do, they do impact motorists, but we've been able to maintain two-lane traffic throughout much of the project duration. We've been through the roughest part of the project with several closures, one being Clark State for roughly 45 days, and another closure of Hamilton Road that lasted roughly 7 days. We're looking forward to next summer and the completion of the Hamilton Road project, which will widen the section of Hamilton Road from Clark State north to Johnstown Road from 2 to 4 lanes. This project with the roundabouts will help improve capacity and efficiency as well as safety of this corridor, will help to further reduce congestion in our community.
With such big goals, it is necessary to close a few lanes and slow traffic down now, just to improve the lives of the drivers later. However, many people wonder if this is necessary, as there never seem to be any problems with this road before the construction.
Things may be rough now, but once they get done, it'll be flowing smoothly. Until next time, this has been Connor Ingram for WGLH TV.
Because of the number of costs that students face, the biggest being college, many choose to have a job. Imad Faki and Cole Frazier interview students who balance work and school.
Hi, I'm Cole Frazier.
And I'm Imad Faki.
Finding a job can be difficult for most students.
And balancing schoolwork and job is very difficult.
But these students that we followed seem to be able to do it just fine.
Let's take an in-depth look at students with jobs.
Having a job is a big responsibility for most students.
Students have to find a balance between work and school.
Having a job gives each student the responsibility and maturity to make their own decisions.
We followed a few students to see how they balance school and work.
Imad and I got the opportunity to talk to Eric Johnson, a junior here at Gahanna Lincoln High School, to see how he does with the work.
Alright, I balance my schoolwork with having this job because if I know that I'm going to have a shift on the day before, if I know I have a shift the day before, I'll kind of stay up later to, finish work to get a head start for tomorrow, so I don't have to pull an all-nighter the night I work.
Students like Eric have found a way to handle their time in a productive way. I had the opportunity to talk to Jared White to find out what he likes most about working and why he does it.
Of having a job, I would definitely have to say would be that I can have just be able to make money for myself and save money for college and also use the money for gas or whatever I need being a high school student. So it's really nice because I can have the money whenever I need it.
Another high school student, David Levis, finds a way to dedicate himself to both school and work.
Just definitely go out, get a job, it's great having your own money, being your own person, buying your own stuff. It's makes you feel mature, I guess. Staying up till 1, 2 in the morning, trying to get homework done after I had work until 11 or 12.
If you're an independent student, maybe you should get a job. This has been Imad Faki and Cole Frazier signing off for WGLH TV.
An issue that WGLH TV promoted nearly 9 years ago was the issue of distracted driving. This issue has impacted many people throughout the years.
Just 3 years ago, we lost a student, Sydney Williams, due to distracted driving. Jonathan Mays takes a closer look at this growing problem.
An epidemic has developed over the last few years concerning teens and adults with a lack of awareness when driving due to something that's distracting them. An epidemic known as distracted driving.
You know, this is a major epidemic in our country. We're losing our youngest and our brightest.
WBNS sports anchor Dom Taberry is experiencing the effects this epidemic has firsthand after losing his daughter Maria in a distracted driving accident back in September of 2013.
Car crashes are the leading killer of our kids, and especially the age group 16 to 19. You are 3 times more likely to be in a fatal crash at that age than any other group there is. And we see it every day. And
GLHS has also been affected by distracted driving. Nearly 3 years ago, GLHS lost one of its students, Sydney Williams, due to a distracted driving crash.
Sydney was a great kid. She really cared about other people. The biggest thing is Sydney would look out, be the friend that her other friends would come and cry on her shoulder. She would make them feel better, give them advice. And so she really cared about making other people feel better.
After an accident, cars are taken to one of Central Ohio's many junkyards where they are either scrapped for parts or crushed like these. However, Gahanna Lincoln High School is looking to curb distracted driving. Just last month, GLHS held a Distracted Driving Awareness Day, where they partnered with the Ohio Department of Transportation, which provided students with simulators, and where they also showed a PSA on how distracted driving hurts everyone.
You're going past the speed limit. What about Anna, get on your right side.
Well, I ran over a person. It was kind of hard to watch when everyone's yelling behind you.
The Gahanna Police Department is also taking steps to help prevent distracted driving.
You will have to have hands-free device to be on your cell phone or anything in Bexley. So I'm sure that the city of Gahanna is probably going to try to enact that also. Probably that will be coming about through probably, I would assume, most of the state.
For Dom Taberry, he's committed to fighting distracted driving until it's no longer an issue.
You know, I have a job doing the sports, but I feel like this is a mission now to try to end this madness.
Hey, I'm Danny Cossack, and I pledge to not drive distracted.
I'm Mylan Jackson, and I pledge to not drive distracted.
This is Jonathan Mays reporting for WGLH TV.
A tradition for students their senior year is to have special pictures taken with multiple poses. Many seniors even choose their own photographer.
It can get very involved and expensive. Sean Coughlin takes a closer look at this process.
Senior photos is no easy task, but knowing the right route to take can ensure that you have an easy and even fun way to get your senior photos taken. Located on 121 Mill Street, Suite 115, is Studio 187 Photography, known for its senior photos and modeling photography. Mylan Jackson sat down with the director of Studio 187 Photography to ask him a few questions about the business.
So how long have you been in Gahanna?
We've been in since 1998.
Okay. And what's it like to do business in the city of Gahanna?
It's been good. We have enjoyed not only having the relationship with the whole city, but having the relationship with the high school as well. So we love this town.
Okay, and what kind of business do you do here?
It's a photography studio, so we do a lot of high school seniors. We shoot models. We do executive portraits. We have the Gahanna Lincoln contract, so we do all of their sports, homecoming, prom, those kind of things.
Another cheaper alternative is having a fellow student take your photos. I sit down with Jerry Lowe on his process for taking senior photos.
I normally like to start with like a little planning phase where I talk to the customer and ask them what kind of shots they want. And then once we go take the pictures, it normally takes around a day. I at least like to try to get it done in a day. I don't like to make it longer than that because it just isn't very good for the customer if they don't have enough time to do that. But when I edit them, it doesn't take as long as most people would. I'd say around 3 to 4 days max, and then I'll just get them on a flash drive and give them to you. I started doing digital photography first for about 2 years, and then recently I've been getting into film. I normally charge around $20 to $40. It really depends how many pictures you want, but I like to charge a lot less than professional photographers because they like to charge a lot, and some people just can't afford that.
So no matter which route you choose, you're sure to end up with quality photos that will last forever. This has been Sean Coughlin reporting from WGLH TV.
The members of Speech and Debate have finally chosen the areas they hope to compete in this year. Mylan Jackson takes us to a recent practice where he shows us what they're doing.
Speech and Debate team here at Gahanna has a long-standing tradition of doing very well, and even though recently falling under new leadership, that tradition still holds. I talked to Neha Badam, a very dedicated Speech and Debate team member, about the team and what it means to her.
So I really enjoy the class Speech and Debate. It's a kind of a class and a club thing. I feel like it has a really good team feeling element to it. So we're all really close to each other and help each other out. So I love that about Speech and Debate.
I in turn asked Neha about the piece he was currently preparing.
So I'm actually an LDer, which stands for Lincoln Douglas Debate. So I'm actually writing a case right now. So we have a resolution, and that's about qualified immunity in the police force right now. So I'm writing a negative side case about that.
I don't care. We were like, okay.
Just take it anyway.
That sucks.
Wait, so
Mrs. Mulbach, the head Speech and Debate coach, only recently fell into a position here. I talked to her about how that came about.
Coaching Speech and Debate for 20 years, and when Mr. Linerode retired, because he's one of my really good friends and former colleagues in Speech and Debate, I knew he was anxiously looking for a replacement. So I applied for the job because I thought it would be a new challenge. I know Gahanna has a really strong tradition in Speech and Debate. The fact that the school district supports the activity, that's really important because there are too many schools who either don't have programs at all, or the school board or the school district just struggles with giving them the right amount of support to be successful. So it was a very alluring job. I was glad to take over.
So if you're looking for a place to scratch that argument itch you seem to have, go join the Speech and Debate team. It's for everybody. This has been Mylan Jackson reporting for WGLH TV.
A group here at the high school that has continued to grow is the orchestra program. They had to hire another person to work with all the students. Derek Johnson, a member of orchestra, gives us some clips from a recent rehearsal.
The Chamber Orchestra is working very hard to get ready for their November concert. All the credit goes to their director, Kevin Dangle, who is not only the Chamber Orchestra director, but the 3 other orchestras at the high school, along with the 3 orchestras at Gahanna Middle School East. Learning how to play a piece can be a quite difficult task. However, Mr. Dangle is always there to help students through rhythms and notes. Currently, the students are working on a piece called Ellis Island, as well as a familiar piece, 1,000 Years. I got the chance to talk to Mr. Dangle about our upcoming concert.
The most rewarding part about being an orchestra teacher for me is seeing the development from students that I start particularly in 6th grade all the way through 12th grade. One of the few teachers in the district that get to see a single student for that length of time. It's really awesome to see all that musical development. Musically, in the orchestra, preparing for a concert, I mean, we do a ton of things to prepare. We first have to make sure we individually have all of our parts in the correct rhythm and all the correct notes. But then most importantly after that, we have to learn how our part fits in with everybody else's part.
Mr. Dangle has high expectations for the students and pushes them to be the best player that they can be. Through the growing orchestra program, Gahanna City Schools hired our newest orchestra director, Mrs. Ross. Mrs. Ross, as well as Mr. Dangle, helps students with their preparation to their next concert. Come out and support the Chamber as well as the 8th grade orchestra at November 17th concert. But for now, this has been Derek Johnson reporting for WGLH TV.
One teacher who is making a huge difference here at the high school is science teacher Mr. Bomber. Not only did he graduate from Gahanna, but also his wife and mother both work here as well. Colton Bosaw talks to him about what it's like to teach at the school that he graduated from.
We got 7 red, 4 yellow.
Mr. Bomber is a science teacher here at Gahanna that teaches biology and now environmental science. Being a biology teacher, Mr. Bomber keeps a lot of animals in his classroom as a learning experience, such as turtles and many assortments of fish, including African cheeklet fish and axolotls. Due to a shortage of science teachers this year, Mr. Bomber picked up a new class called Environmental Science. I asked him how he felt about this class.
You know, teaching environmental science this year is definitely different than biology. You know, I do think that it's great working with some of the upperclassmen. Definitely something I don't always, I'm not used to. And so the subject matter is very current. It's a very relevant course to concerns of the day. And so, you know, I really enjoy seeing how students react to information that's very relevant to the world around them. At the moment.
Some of the things they talk about in environmental assignments include landfills or what happened in Flint, Michigan with the water crisis. They mostly talk about environmental issues that can be prevented and what steps they can take as themselves to prevent something from happening.
Our group numbers here. So it's a different teaching method, as we typically do project-based learning in the environmental science course, whereas in biology we have a little more common practices that we use. And so, again, I do like how much we use technology in the course. I really think students do a lot better with massive amounts of material. And this course, you know, it's a lot of information. So definitely different, but good as well.
Outside of class, Mr. Bomber is a 7th grade basketball coach over at Middle School East and is gearing up for the next season. Mr. Bomber is a role model for everybody in Gahanna, in school and out of school. This has been Colton Bosaw for WGLH TV.
A class that combines the skill with writing with the content of science is the Scientific Lit and Composition class. It is a unique combination with unbelievable results. Addie Kittle gives us a closer look at this unique opportunity.
Scientific Lit and Comp, led by teachers Becky Rice and Tyler Bruns, helps students prepare for a career in the science field. Over the course of the year, students will be working on a year-long project which will then be entered into numerous competitions. Along with these projects, some students are asked to make posters as well as PowerPoints to present to the judges. I talk with advisor Becky Rice about this class and some of the projects that are being done this year.
Okay. This class is a science research capstone class, and the students are learning how to do APA writing, following National Science Foundation guidelines, and they're researching a variety of information. Some of them are doing projects on robotics, some of them are biological, some of them are medical. One student is studying preeclampsia and going to children's hospitals to work in a lab.
Depending on how well the students do, they could be rewarded with college scholarships. Not only do these projects help with scholarships, they also look good on college resumes. Most of these students will choose a project related to something they're interested, hoping to build experiences for the future. I talked to Chelsea Kerr about why she chose this class and what her project is about.
I took this class because I want to become an engineer and I want to pursue engineering in college. So I thought that this class, like a research-based class, would be a good way to start my research career. And I'm working on testing the toxicity of artificial turf, both in water runoff and in gases.
After taking Scientific Lit and Comp, students will be more informed about the APA writing style, as well as better prepared for their college careers.
So if you're looking to go into the science field, make sure you join Scientific Lit and Comp today. This has been Addie Kittle reporting for WGLH TV.
Because technology has made communicating so easy, many students and adults have become addicted to their cell phones. I did an in-depth report on texting and cell phone usage in the classrooms. Over the years, technology has grown a lot. We can easily access old friends, meet new friends, and post things about your life. Even though students should be learning, they still use their phone in the classroom. The past couple of years, this has been a growing problem. With one easy click, you can open an app in an instant. Students, even when they're walking, can get distracted from texting. This expanding issue has forced lots of students to get bad grades. Even though phones can be bad, there still is a good side.
Well, for the most part, I usually have my phone either in my wallet or in my backpack whenever I'm in class because I try to focus more on the lesson and everything like that. But, sometimes in class, I get reminders from teachers. I can listen to music during reading times or study times. I use it to use dictionaries and look up words that I don't know.
Many students have mixed opinions on if we should use phones in the classroom.
I think there's a balance that teachers and students need to find between, using phones too much and making it distract from the learning environment and then using phones to enhance the learning environment. Because I know there are games that teachers play like Kahoot or quizzes that you can interact with your phones, and teachers use Remind 101, so that's another way that they can use phones in the classroom.
Even though phones can be a distraction, teachers use phones positively. There are many ways that students can get distracted in the classroom. Through Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and MySpace, there are many ways that a student can get distracted while learning. Please stay off your phones and try to learn something. This has been Maya Rossio reporting for WGLH TV.
One student who always makes technology work best for them is Dylan Young. AJ Overstreet talks to Dylan, who is this week's Student Spotlight.
A funny guy, a great student, an excellent helper to other students in the class. Dylan Young is one special kid, but what makes Dylan extra special is that he is a music producer for hip-hop and rap. Not only does Dylan produce, but he also owns his own studio and record label where he helps make music with other local artists. I talked to Corbin Wilder, also known as C. Wild, about Dylan Young and his studio experience.
Young Dill is he's a great producer, great beats, excellent equipment. He works with some of the best rappers. I mean, can't blame him. I just love the vibe in the studio. He works so hard and spends day and night working on beats and music, and he's the best producer I could ask for. I love Young Dill.
Teachers have also started to hear about Dylan shining in the music world. I talked to Mr. Hoying.
All right, Dylan is a great producer. I hear students talk about his work all day long. I even have students come up to me and play his music for me. I would say Dylan has a lot of talent, and I could definitely see him going places in the future.
Talk to Dylan about how he balances his time between the studio and school.
So schoolwork always comes first. That's obviously the most important thing to me. I have a lot of things going on right now with applying for college and working my job, but I always find time to make music, and it's what I love to do.
From a 31 on his ACT to hopefully 31 platinum records, Dylan Young is a brilliant mind. From WGLH TV, I'm AJ Overstreet.
Dylan has certainly been very busy these past few weeks.
Some other students who are very busy are our athletes.
Speaking of athletes, do you have a sports report for us, Josh?
I sure do. The football team lost a tough battle at Lancaster 21-18. And both the guys and girls soccer team enter the playoffs this week, coming off a big win to end the regular season. And also it was a great week for Lions cross country as both the guys and girls teams won the OCC. This was the first time in 12 years the guys team has won the OCC, and the first time that both the guys and girls team has won in the same year. And that's a wrap for sports this week at Gahanna.
Thanks, Josh. We'd like to thank you for joining us this week. Tune in next week when Mylan Jackson brings us a story on the fall play Almost Maine. Until then, this has been Camille Mancuso,
Maya Rossio,
and Josh Russell saying, to dream the person you would like to be is to waste the person you are.
Have a great week.
Cue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.